Greetings and salutations. I've been running around today like a chicken with my head cut off. Started working on the Mopar motor today, and for some reason I bench test the distributor and it functions. I put it on the car and it doesn't. So I guess I'll try to hook up the old distributor and see if I get this thing to fire. I need to get this thing freaking running, get it back in the damn car. For crying out loud. And my wife was gone with my oldest son all day on a mother-son date, and she just got back, and I got spark plugs for that thing. So when I want to swap them out real quick, I got about a half an hour of daylight left. So, and I can't find my 13. Damn it. It's a half inch or 9/16. So let me see. Oh, shut up. About swapping these. This is probably not. It's probably a 10. Of course it is. Frickin' metric system. So, I'm not gonna do a tutorial on how to change spark plugs. I mean, that's only like 100-year-old technology. And there's probably plenty, 10 millimeter, plenty of tutorials on how to change spark plugs. This happens to be the 2.5 liter Ecotech General Motors, and unlike the ignition systems of yore, this is a distributorless ignition system with coil-on plugs. And before I pop these things off, I think I probably should get this debris out of here. It looks like a rodent or something had taken up residence while we were on vacation this summer. So basically, you just pull these bolts out, pull it out, and the plug's down inside the hole. Pretty simple, really, and get yourself a good set of plugs. In my case, I'm using the exact same plugs I'm taking out, AC Delcos. And the purpose of this video is to show you just how far spark plug technology has come along in the last 40 years. These spark plugs have, how many miles they got on them? Let's go see. 120,000, almost 500 miles. I can tell you that I would never have thought of doing that with my 1964 Bel Air. You know, back in the day when I started driving in the early 80s, 20,000 miles on a set of plugs was considered a pretty long time. So I'm gonna stop jaw jacking. I'm gonna yank them plugs. We'll pull them out and compare them to the new ones and see what they say to us. Alright, so here they're old plugs, and I'll throw a gap gauge on this. This would be driver's side. I'm going to call that number 1. It's probably the inverted, but let's call driver's side number 1, 2, 3, 4. The outside electrode is nice and tan. The inside electrode's got a little carbon on it. That's to be expected. Yeah. So let's compare them to new. Okay. One on the right is old, the one on the left is new. They don't look too bad, actually. Let me throw a gap measurement on these real quick. It looks like it's gapped at about 42 thousandths. And then this one should be about 42. So, iridium spark plugs, barely anywhere. They're all, you know, they all look like they're evenly worn. And we're just having some issues, some age issues with our car, and I'm hoping that we can clear up some of them by just replacing the plugs. I doubt it, but you know, it's just cheap stuff first, you know. Also, in these modern engines, typically the spark plugs are buried down in the bowels of the head. They ain't sticking out, they're down inside there. Let me show you. They're way down inside there. So if you want to have any hope of getting them out and putting new ones back in without damaging the tip, you need to get a spark plug socket that's got a little rubber grommet in it that holds the spark plug firm. Might be a good idea to throw some dielectric grease, especially if you live in the Rust Belt, or some anti-seize compound on there. I'm not going to because I live in the desert. See how it runs. Anybody have any idea why it's doing that? It only does it when it's cold. stumbles, stutters, bucks, and snorts. Just mash the gas and then it takes off, and then it's fine. After it warms up a little bit. Come here. I have a check engine light on. And it's due for an oil change. I'll run a scan tool on it, see if that's just an indicator for to change the oil. Engine code, read codes. Camshaft position actuator circuit, open bank 1. A P0010. Cam position actuator circuit, open bank 1. So I'm assuming we'll have to do a little bit of research. Stu, if you're watching, what do I do? I have to apologize for my wife for not fixing her car, but at least we know the spark plugs aren't the issue. You know, the whole premise of this video is to show you the difference between brand new spark plugs compared to spark plugs that are 6 years old and have 120,000 miles on them. As you can see, other than the little bit of discoloration from no more use, they were still within spec. They probably would have gone another 100,000 miles without any issue. But they're not cheap plugs. I think like $8 a piece. Iridium. I would imagine it's a regular standard copper plug. Wouldn't look that good after 120,000 miles. As far as specialty plugs like E3 plugs or them split tip plugs, you know, don't waste your money on that garbage. It's all marketing. Put the same plugs that the engineers designed the car for back in the car. You know, General Motors spends millions of dollars doing R&D in developing spark plugs for their engines, specifically for their engines. I know you got your favorite brand, you know I do too, but it'd be kind of stupid to put Autolite spark plugs in a car that was designed to have AC Delcos in them. Just saying. Just like the brakes in this car, 120,000 miles on the brakes, and I took the wheels off to rotate them. And I'm guessing I probably get another 100,000 miles out of the brakes. There's still half the pad left. If we still have the car when it needs a brake job, I'm going to put the same brake pads that came on the car on the car. They're over $50 a wheel to replace the brakes with the type of brakes that came on this car. But that's what I'm putting back on it because, brother, I don't like doing brake jobs. But anyway, if you happen to have a 2013 Malibu and you need some spark plugs, I will put a link in the description to the AC Delco spark plugs that I put in this car. You know, if you like this video, hammer away the like button. Yeah, if you didn't, hammer away the dislike button twice. Whatever floats your boat. It's okay with me either way. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, underneath this window is a button that says subscribe. It's red. Click it, turns gray, and then click the little bell icon right next to it so you too could be notified of future uploads. Share this video with the vast social media network. Comment down in the comment section with any comments or questions. And until next time, have fun, stay safe, shoot straight, keep the powder dry. Have yourself a splendid day. Now I gotta go inside to break news with my wife. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.